Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on completing the system configuration in ManuDyn Cloud 9. If this is the first time your system has been configured, a configuration wizard will be displayed and the Configure Tax Settings option should be marked as completed. The next item on the checklist is to complete the system configuration. To do so, click on this link, or if you don't see the wizard, go to the System Settings menu group and click the General Options menu item. The General Options page is divided into several tabs, each covering a different function of the system. At the top of the Options tab is the Unit Price Quantity settings, which determine how your products are priced. Normally the quantity would be set to 1 and the description set to units. The next section specifies when to release inventory to a job. If the Relieve Stock at Job Issue option is ticked, then inventory will be released when the job is issued to production. If the Record Job Cost during Purchase Receipt or Return option is ticked, then when a purchase order that is associated with a job is received or returned, the inventory will automatically be allocated or unallocated to the job. Lastly, on this tab we need to set the default tax group and the tax type. Click on the Lookup Search button to view the tax group we created in the previous video. Then select the desired tax group ID that we use as the default. I now select the appropriate tax type that should be applied. We can skip the User Defined Fields tab for now and instead click on the Calendar tab. You may be prompted to save changes. Whenever you change information on a tab and leave that tab, ManuDyn will prompt you to save your changes. You can remove this prompt by ticking the Automatically Save Whenever I Leave a Tab option, or you can choose not to save or to cancel and return to the tab. I will answer yes to save my changes. The Calendar tab allows you to define the production capacity for each day of the week expressed as a percentage of a standard day. If your capacity is the same every day of the week, then you would put 100% in each of the days. In my example, the capacity is standard for Monday through Friday, but we don't work on Saturday or Sunday, so I have placed 0% for those 2 days. Holidays can be allocated by adding a non-standard day at the bottom of the tab. In my example, I will enter the 1st of January 2014 as a 0 capacity day. A second shift could be scheduled by setting a date and entering 200 for the percentage. There is no limit to the number of non-standard days that you can enter. We can skip the Schedule tab for now and instead click on the Stock tab. On this tab we define the units of measure that we are able to select throughout the system. To add a new unit of measure, click on the last row in the grid, select the unit type, enter a conversion factor so that it can be compared to other units of the same type, enter a description, and lastly enter a priority which determines how this list will be sorted. Next, I'm going to add a second store to my list of available inventory stores. To add a row, click on the last row in the grid and type in a store name. In my example, I will set the name as Second Store. There is no limit to the number of stores that you can set. Lastly, on this tab, I can define my price list categories. In my example, I will set the markup on the list category to 50%. There is no limit to the number of categories that you can create. We can skip the Accounts tab for now and instead click on the Currencies tab. The top row of the Currencies grid should be your currency and is set to an exchange rate of 1. To add a row, click on the last row in the grid and type in a name, abbreviation, symbol, and exchange rate you receive for 1 unit of your currency. When you are finished entering the currencies that you transact with, click the Regional tab. The Regional tab sets the default country, time zone, and language setting that will be used when creating new users in the system. Once you are finished, you can return to the home page by clicking the Home Page button at the top of the screen, or by clicking on the Exit button in the toolbar. In the next video tutorial, we will configure the available work areas for the system. Click on the link to start the next video.